Hello guys, welcome back to a new video on my channel. Today it's time for another how to make custom Super Mario Galaxy levels tutorial. And today's episode, we're gonna talk about color change, or changing color, or in what order you wanna say it. So color change is used by a few models in Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. And the most noticeable is probably the Star Shroom. The Star Shroom can be color changed to from red to green to blue, pink even, yellow. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you how you can, well, apply that to every single one of your models. So let's go ahead and do this. Before I'm gonna show you how you can do this, I just have to tell you something, and that is that this does not work with every single material. You can make this work with stone, grass, soil. You can just make this work with just a checkerboard pattern like I have in this example, but this does not work with every single material. For example, metal or water or lava, you can have it work with those, but only if you have it set up very specifically. It does work with some metal types. For example, in Battle Rock Galaxy, you have this molecule-shaped planet. I'll just show it on the screen if I remember to do that. You have this color-rich planet shaped like a molecule of some sorts, with red, green, yellow, and blue spheres. And it does work with that material. If you want to have that material and you want to have color changing for that material, then you just copy that material to your model from that model, and then you can just apply this technique that I'm about to show you to that model. But if you have metal, like a lot of the planets in both games have, then it doesn't work with those. Trust me, I've tried, but it doesn't work. Only with that kind of metal. If it's even metal, I don't think it's actually metal. It's kind of like a rock, a colored rock. Anyway, let's just jump right into it. I've been talking for way too long. I've just made this very simple cube. It's just a cube in Blender, just cube right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Let me just change that. There we go. Now you can see my cursor. Just this very simple cube. Shift A and then mesh and then cube. And I've just given it a radius of 250, and I've just assigned this material cube pattern underscore V, and then I've just assigned it this texture. All of the files, by the way, will be in the description. I've assigned it this texture cube pattern, and if I just go to material view, you can see it's very simple. It's just gray and white. This is how it looks in paint.net. This is how the texture looks. And I've just assigned it a very simple vertex color thing. I've just made the bottom very dark and the sides a bit more dark than the top. And I've just gone to File, Export in FBX. If you want to know how you do all of the material and all of that other stuff, then I highly recommend you go watch episode 5, because that is where I explain how you can make custom models. After I export it as an FBX, I've just simply converting it to a BDL file with Super BMD. After you exported it to a BDL, you are basically ready to do the color change. So let's get into the BRK. However, before we do that, sorry, but I just have to say it only works with TEF colors, and it only works with the first entry. So this entry here, it only works with this entry. It doesn't work with any other entry or with constant color. That's what const stands for, constant colors. Anyway, I just had to get that out of the way. Now it's time to get into the BRK file. This is the template for the BRK file. It's a JSON file. I'm going to show you how you can convert it to a BRK file in a second after I explain all of the values. The BRK template is very simple. It just has 3 colors that you can choose from. So the 0 is red, 1 is green, and 2 is blue. You can also change the alpha channel, but this is color change, not alpha change. If you want to have this template and make it work for your own model, then you have to change these values to your own likings, change this material name. So in my case, that would be cube pattern underscore V, because that's how this material in Blender is called, cube pattern underscore V. And then you would have to change the duration. But I'll explain all of that right now. So this is the color change file I have for the cube I just showed. And it is actually way more simple than it looks. It has a lot of values, but trust me, it is more simple than it looks. As you can see, the duration has changed from 4 to 6. That's because of one thing I'm gonna show you at the end of this whole BRK explanation session, whatever you want to call it. The material file is cube pattern underscore V, and now we come to the most important section, which is this section right here. So you have the red channel, green channel, and blue channel, and there are 4 values for each channel. The first value is just this one number at the start, and that is pretty much the value that you have to give object argument 0, which I'll come to in a second, to make it change to the color that you have given this value, this 0 or 1, 2, 3, whatever. You can have as many values as you want. You can pretty much have the 16 million colors that there are. The second value I'll get to in a second. The third and the fourth value are not important at all for this. You can just leave them at 0. If you have a BRK that you extracted from a model from the actual original game, then you might have seen some values like 117, -9 or something. But you can just change them to 0, it won't matter at all, it will still work perfectly. Then we have the second value, which is the amount of color for one channel. So for red, I have here 255, which means that if I just go to paint.net, if I change red to 255, that means that it's fully red, and that I've assigned that to the 0, because if you look at green and blue, those values are at 0 and red is 255. For 1, I've made red 0, green 0, and blue 255. If you go here, blue 255, red 0, that means that you have a blue color. And you can basically have any color you want. You can just, go to paint.net, just change this to like a brownish color. This is actually pretty perfect brown. And then you can just copy these 3 values here onto this. So red is 167, green is 120, blue is 74. And then you have the exact same color as you have here. Yeah, that's basically how the second value works. But if you look at the template here, the template, there you go. I only have 3 colors, so red, green, and blue. But how can I have more than 3? Well, that's very simple to do. You just select this bit, so from the comma and then to the end, copy, and then you just paste. And then the thing that you have to change, otherwise it won't work, is the first value, so 3, 4, 5, 6. And you also have to change the duration, because the duration is how many colors you have here. So this is 7 colors, and the duration is the amount of colors that you have plus 1. So we have 7 colors here, and then you just change this to 8, and there you go. Now also make sure you have 8 colors or 7 colors here. But yeah, that's actually it's really easy to do, to be honest. And yeah, that's basically what you have to do. So after you have saved the JSON file, let me just back or undo all of that. Now you have this JSON file, and then you just drag this JSON file onto the batch file of the BRK convert or Bark convert. I don't know what's called Bark, but whatever. Then you just bring that into just copy that BRK file into a folder, and then you have to change the name to ColorChange.brk. If you can't see that .brk, by the way, just go to whatever that is in English, and then just turn on file extensions, and then you have the BRK afterwards. Also, make sure you have the BDL. So I'll just very quickly convert the model. Now we have a BDL file, and we put that in the same folder, and yeah, now we just pack it and encode it to an ARC file. And now let me just show you how you can well, change the color with an object argument. Alright, so here we go. I've just set up a simple setup with 5 cubes. Just put an invisible floor here, and well, how do you change the color for these cubes? Because we just set up the whole BRK file, and but how do we actually change the color? Well, you have to change this, the object argument 0. You have to change that value, and if you remember correctly, 0 was or well, the value that you have to put in here was the first value in the little rows of values in the BRK file, and 0 was red for me, 1 was blue, 2 was green, 3 was yellow, and 4 was white. And if you don't understand that, I'll just explain it in the comments if you ask what the hell does that mean or something. But yeah, now if you have change object argument 0 to a value, then you can pretty much boot up the game and see the difference. I'll boot up the game, and yeah, I'll just show you that it works. Alright, and as you can see, it actually works, and that is perfect. So the left is red, then we have blue, green, yellow, and white, and it works perfectly fine. And yeah, that was this video and the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you have any questions, by the way, just leave them in the comments and I'll answer them. Also, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of these tutorials and more really good content. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.